Bixley here. Today I'm going to show a 2018 drama, mystery, and sci-fi film called Freaks. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. 7-year-old Chloe Lewis has spent her whole life hidden away in an abandoned suburban house with her dad, Henry. He won't let her go outside, terrified the same men who killed her mom will find them. Even though they live off canned food and stay shut in, Chloe becomes smart and self-reliant. Every day, Henry makes her practice an escape plan in case he doesn't come back from getting supplies. Henry made an agreement with their neighbor, Stephen Reed. If something happens to him, the Reeds will get regular payments in exchange for looking after Chloe. To prepare, Chloe memorizes their names, details about their lives, and facts that help her blend in like a normal kid. That night, as she gets ready for bed, she hears a noise from the closet. When she opens it, she sees a woman chained up inside and screams at her to leave. Chloe's room is covered in drawings of the chained woman, showing she's been seeing this ghostly figure for a long time. Henry rushes in and tells her it's all in her head. He agrees to stay with her but won't sleep. He says when he sleeps, too much time passes outside, and he can only keep her safe if he stays awake. The next morning, Chloe wakes up to the jingle of an ice cream truck. She peeks out the window and sees Harper Reed, the neighbor's daughter, buying a cone. Chloe quietly calls out to Harper, asking her to bring ice cream too. A little while later, Harper shows up at their door with a chocolate cone. Chloe cracks the door open and reaches for it, but Henry catches her just in time. He scolds her and demands to know if she's been sneaking outside. Chloe says no, but he doesn't believe her and locks her in the closet as punishment. The next morning, trying to make up for it, Henry promises to get her some ice cream, but things take a turn. Henry comes back much earlier than expected, carrying groceries and a bleeding wound on his side. He tells Chloe the plan has changed and they'll need to stay hidden even longer now. Before he can explain more, he collapses on the kitchen floor. Suddenly, a glowing force field bursts from the house and then pulls back into his body. Chloe realizes Henry has been using a time bubble to surround their home, slowing down time outside while everything inside stays normal. Although Chloe is 7, only 3 months have passed in the real world, meaning they've been living inside the time bubble for all those years. Seeing an opportunity, Chloe grabs a $100 bill and steps outside for the very first time. She heads straight to the ice cream truck and meets the man running it, Alan, who goes by Mr. Snowcone. He offers her a cone and invites her into the truck. They drive to the park and Chloe stares out the window, taking in the outside world for the first time. Along the way, she notices a billboard about people called abnormals, who bleed from their eyes. She casually mentions that her dad's eyes do that too. At the park, Alan pushes her on the swings and starts asking questions, like if anything strange ever happens when she gets mad or upset, or if she's ever done anything unusual. Alan starts telling Chloe about her mom, saying she was someone special, someone with powers. Just as he begins sharing their story, a police officer approaches and interrupts. The cop gets suspicious and tells Alan to step away from Chloe. Alan claims she's his granddaughter, but the officer asks to see his eyes. Alan leans close to Chloe and quietly tells her that this officer is one of the men responsible for her mother's death. Chloe gets upset and starts yelling at the officer, demanding he leave. Shockingly, the man lowers his gun and walks away, like he's under a spell. On the way back, Alan shows Chloe a photo of her mother and lets her keep it. He also gives her crushed sleeping pills and tells her to slip them into her dad's food the next time she hears the ice cream truck. Later, when Henry wakes up, Chloe confronts him for hiding the truth and not telling her she's different. She screams at him to leave her room. That night, Chloe wakes up to noises from her closet again. When she opens the door, she sees the chained woman, but this time, she realizes it's the same person from the photo, her mother. The woman panics and lashes out, thinking Chloe is just another cruel illusion created by her captors. Chloe runs from the room and finds her father asleep in front of the TV. She watches and learns more about abnormals, also called freaks, people who look like everyone else but have strange powers that make their eyes bleed when they use them. The government is hunting these freaks to turn them into weapons. Later that night, Chloe sees the chained woman again, her third time. And this time, she manages to convince her that she's real. Her mom finally recognizes her and asks how she got there. Chloe explains that she's actually in her closet. Confused, her mother realizes Chloe is reaching her through some kind of mental connection, showing up in her prison cell like a ghost. The next morning, Chloe tells Henry about what happened, but he doesn't believe her. With no other option, she decides to slip him the sleeping pills. Henry catches on to what Chloe is trying to do and chases her toward the door. She yells at him to sleep and he drops to the floor as blood starts to run from her eyes. Chloe goes to meet Alan in his truck where he shares his plan. Hiding isn't working anymore. It's time to do something. They drive to a diner to meet a government agent named Agent Ray. Alan pretends to be a priest who raised Chloe, now going by the name Eleanor Reed, and asks Ray to take them to Maddock Mountain, a place where the government is keeping the freaks. Chloe panics and goes off script, running into the diner's kitchen. To protect them, Alan blinds a dishwasher and pushes him outside. The agents mistake the man for an abnormal and shoot him. Alan grabs Chloe and they both turn invisible, escaping just in time. Back in the truck, Chloe learns the truth. Her mother is still alive and Alan has been trying to break into Maddock Mountain to rescue her. Chloe begs him to take her home to live with the Reeds instead, but Alan tells her to stop running and face reality. As they head back, Henry suddenly appears in the middle of the road. Chloe jumps out of the truck and is nearly hit by a car, but Henry activates his force field just in time to protect her. Realizing it's time, Henry takes her to the Reeds to follow through on their agreement. Stephen agrees and introduces them to his wife Nancy and their daughter Harper, but when Nancy finds out Chloe is a freak, she backs out, saying they were never told she was an abnormal. Henry and Chloe return home and find Alan tied to a chair, waiting for them. Henry is stunned to see blood coming from Chloe's eyes, proof that she's an abnormal too, just like him. Scared and unsure if he can trust her, he locks her in the closet. Inside, Chloe sees her mother again, but thugs grab her and drag her away. As Henry seals the closet, Chloe screams at him, begging him to help save her mom. Overwhelmed with emotion, she loses control and nearly kills him, putting him into a trance while forcing a drill toward his neck. Meanwhile, Alan and Henry argue downstairs. Chloe looks out the window and sees Nancy calling the ADF, alerting them to their location. Chloe projects a live vision of what's happening into the room, and both men are stunned by how powerful her abilities have become. They watch in disbelief as she takes control of an officer, making him stab Nancy in the eye, then turn his gun on himself. The noise draws more officers, who see the chaos and shoot Nancy, mistaking her for an abnormal. Horrified, Henry runs to find Alan, only to realize he's already taken Chloe and turned invisible. Chloe slips away, runs to her room, and finds a vision of her mother, Mary, chained to a metal bed. Henry and Alan arrive and see Mary, alive but still restrained. As a doctor moves in to kill her, Chloe takes control of his body and forces him to end his own life. She then uses her powers to control a nearby officer and begins freeing her mother. Just as they start to reunite, the doorbell rings. Henry checks and sees it's Agent Ray. He lets her in, pretending to be a real estate agent showing the property, while Chloe continues helping Mary. But Agent Ray isn't fooled. She sees through Henry's act and firmly tells him to sit down. Agent Ray threatens to level the house if Henry doesn't cooperate. As she gives orders, Alan sneaks up behind her with a gun to her head, but she catches him, grabs the weapon, and accidentally fires. Henry activates his force field just in time, but he's too weak and the bullet hits him in the stomach. Agent Ray finds Chloe in the bedroom and fires her gun at her. The bullet misses her but hits Alan instead, killing him. This makes Chloe very upset and she grabs Agent Ray's gun, points it at her own head, and then kills herself. Henry knows time is running out, so he pretends to hold the agent as a hostage and makes a protective field around the house, killing 3 officers. Chloe runs to her dad and faints, tired from using her powers. Mary is now stuck near the last exit with officers getting closer. She calls Chloe again and Chloe wakes up. Chloe screams and uses all her power to control the minds of every officer at Maddock Mountain, finishing the last step to free her mother. Mary runs outside, now free, and flies, destroying all agents nearby. A missile locks onto the house, and Henry uses his powers one last time to try to slow it down. He carries Chloe's body outside just as the house explodes behind them. When Chloe wakes up, Henry says goodbye and tells her he loves her very much. She cries over his dead body while hearing gunshots. The shooting stops, and her mother comes to rescue her. Chloe and Mary meet again for the first time, and Mary promises to keep her safe forever. Chloe tells her they don't need to hide now and can live anywhere they want. Feeling hopeful from her daughter's words, Mary hugs her and they fly away together.